Me live in just a second. Like a mannequin, just in case. Of course, it records that. Okay, hi everyone. This is Dr. Heather Paulson, and I am here with Megan, and we are talking about harmony restored and the science and soul of healing, and how these two things came together in this beautiful mashup. I'm going to shut my Facebook page so we don't hear me. So I do have my Facebook page up on my phone, though. So if you guys have any comments or questions, we will gratefully take those. And Megan, why don't you tell the people who are watching a little bit about yourself? I know you're probably sharing and typing to share.
Yeah, I know. I'm like trying to share, like, here we go. Make sure that we can get everybody on here so we can ask questions and everything. But yeah, so I'm Meghan Buer. I'm so honored to be a part of the summit. Very short story. I'm a mom of 3 and I'm an energy healer, and I was sick for a really long time, had Hashimoto's, adrenal fatigue, food intolerances, panic attacks, anxiety, the whole fun story. And was doing everything right and feeling so frustrated because I was not getting better, and was going to a million doctors and trying all these different supplements and changing my diet and doing all these things, and honestly felt worse than I ever had, and could not figure it out. And so I went on this journey of figuring out how to heal myself, and it took me down a road I did not think I would go down, and here we are. So yeah.
How did it take you on an unexpected road? Because I was just talking about this with Dr. Rhonda Stakey on our live call on Saturday. And, you know, she kind of said the same thing. And I think a lot of the people that are talking on the Science and Soul of Healing Summit are like, I never really expected this. This is why we have to have the science word in there, right? Because we're all a little surprised at the road we've gone down.
Yeah, totally. Because I just remember hearing about energy work and the power of your thoughts and mindset and intuitive eating and all these different things. And I was like, I don't really have time for positive thinking. Like, I've got all this stuff to fix first. And then maybe I'll deal with like my stress and deal with my emotions and deal with like my thought patterns. And I just kept pushing it aside because it seemed A, too easy, and B, too woo-woo. And so I just kept pushing with, you know, the more physical stuff, like changing my diet and cutting out more foods and doing more green juice and like taking more supplements. And it just was not working. And I finally got to this kind of rock bottom place where I was like, okay, I don't care how woo-woo this stuff is. Like, I just need to feel better. I've got 3 kids. I can't move off the couch. I'm so tired. I can't leave my house. I'm so anxious. Like, I have to do something. And it was really all this woo-woo stuff that I kept pushing aside for so long, discounting it, that shifted everything for me. And, you know, I think I'm to the point now where in my own practice, this is what I'm coaching people on every day is, you know, like healthy food is great and supplements are great and all of that is great. But if you are angry and anxious and depressed and stressed all the time, you are not going to get anywhere. And how deeply connected our physical health is to our emotional health. And alternative medicine, it's starting to come out. It's like people are talking about this more and more, hence the summit. But you have to find it. Like, it's not, people are talking about gluten. They're not talking about your stress levels, and maybe they will here and there, and they'll throw in like, oh, take a bubble bath. And it's like, that's great, but that's not actually like what we need to be doing. And so for me, it was really realizing how much power and choice I had in my story, and changing that with my mind, basically, and saying, all right, this is not my story anymore, and I'm going to live differently, and I'm going to move on with my life. And that was that. So yeah.
That's super powerful. And I know that people watching and listening, they can totally resonate with that. We have Melissa who's joined us. Good morning, Melissa. Thanks for joining us. And I am sure she can resonate with that. And anyone else who's tuning in live or after our live stream, I know that you've probably been in that space of wondering, like, what the heck is going on with my body? Why isn't anything getting better, even though I'm doing all of the right things? That was a whole push behind inviting you, Megan, on this summit and talking with you about your tools. So without giving anything away, do you have any tools that we maybe talked about, but we won't, we'll leave them in suspense a little bit?
Well, I'll say something different. So I gave a few tools in the summit, but one thing that has kind of been coming up for me the last few days, and even today, I was on the phone with a client coaching her, and I just, and I actually made a Facebook post about this today, to not believe all the messages saying that you're not okay. So we are constantly being bombarded with messages that we are not okay. So the food we're eating isn't okay. Our weight isn't okay. How much money we make isn't okay. Where we live isn't okay. You're not okay. I'm not okay. The kids aren't okay. Like, it's just this constant noise that is in our minds of you're not okay. And I, it was last week, I was actually I was having a little bit of a human experience morning, and I was just in my head, and I went to yoga class, and I was standing there in warrior pose, and the teacher was like, trust your body. Your body knows what to do. And what is your body telling you right now? And immediately that's what came to me was, don't believe the messages saying you're not okay. And that message was for me, but I know it's for people on a greater scale too, that the more we can tune in to our own healing and our own innate well-being, the more we're going to heal, and that well-being is there no matter what you're feeling right now. If you got physical symptoms, emotional symptoms, whatever, there is an internal guidance system, and there's a part of you that is whole and well, no matter what's happening. And the more that we can touch into that place and not look outside of ourselves for the answers, the deeper we're going to heal, and the more joy we're going to experience. And it changes us on a biochemical level. It's just amazing. And so I think that's kind of my tip, is to help people realize you are okay, and you're doing everything right, and to just give yourself a break and enjoy your life. And the more we can do that, the more we can heal. And everybody's looking for a magic pill, and you are the magic pill. It's not in a supplement. And yeah, that's it.
I love that. You are the magic pill. You are your own magic pill. Yeah. And you're okay. And I'm sure if you resonate with that message, I know that I do right now, because we're launching a brand new thing. And just one of my friends likened doing this to a wedding, and something always goes wrong in the wedding, but in the big scheme of things, it's an amazing day. You have tons of memories. Like, you got to move past some of the little, glitches of your hem coming apart or something, and duct tape it and move on, and you're okay. And you're doing well, even more than you're just okay. You're probably, given your life circumstances, whatever they are right now, you're probably doing more than okay. You're probably doing really well and really fantastic, and really showing your strength and courage. So I really love that. If you guys resonate with that, go ahead and give us some hearts or a thumbs up and chat with us, because we are here spending our morning with you. And also, we're available if you catch this after this is live, and you can write in questions and comments. But this is really our time. Megan and I, we are excited to be able to answer your questions and see what's been coming up for you in even just this conversation this morning, in the events that are happening around us in the world right now. If you needed to hear that message that you're okay, we're here to support you, or anything else that you want to have questions about or comment on, we are here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know my crew is really looking forward to the summit because my tribe of people totally resonate with this message. And I think the summit is, I don't know, I'm really excited for it because I think it's different than any other summits I've been a part of, where it's really honed in on my message of you're okay, and really healing ourselves on that emotional level and how that affects our physical health. And so I'm really excited. And I think, there's going to be this whole tribe of people behind this movement, that people are ready to hear this. They're ready. They're fed up with, cutting out corn and soy and not feeling like $1,000,000. And so I think it's really exciting that this message is getting out there.
Oh, thank you. I mean, that is a huge piece of why I had to put the summit together. I specialize in natural cancer care or integrative cancer care. And when I see my patients with cancer, it's a lot like any other illness that you experience with your clients. And what I saw is people getting so stuck in like, I have to be vegan, I have to be ketogenic, I have to do this or that. And if I don't do that thing, not only am I, not doing my best, but I'm going to be killing myself. Like I would literally hear those words out of my patients' mouths, to the point where they were doing diets and supplements that weren't serving them, that were literally was making them sicker, but without someplace else to turn to for their healing, they didn't know what else to do.
Oh yeah. And I've been there. I mean, I did not have cancer, thankfully, but with my own stuff, I mean, I remember doing a specific diet that I won't name, and feeling worse than I had ever felt in my whole life. And everybody kept telling me, oh, like you're cleansing, it's a healing crisis, there's toxins leaving your body. And so I kept going and I kept going and I kept going, and I felt worse and worse and worse. And I crashed, and I think it's hard because there are people out there that are looking for answers because they don't feel great. And there are these diet gurus that promise that if you just do this, then you will feel this way. And so when you just do this and you don't feel this way, then you internalize, well, there's something wrong with me. And you just have to go harder. Maybe there's another food you have to cut out, and you just keep going and going. And again, it turns into this almost religious dogma where you're trying to save yourself. You're trying to be saved, and you're following these rules, and they're not working for you. And I think giving people the permission to change if something isn't working for you, and also giving people just the opportunity to realize there is a different way. And a lot of times the way we're feeling about food is the thing that's actually hurting us more than the food. And I talk about this a lot on my blog and on Facebook, just where the joy is more important than food. And if you have this perfect diet and you're eating nothing but lettuce and salmon or whatever, and you're miserable all the time, it's not going to be doing you any good. And the more that we can just be creating joy in our lives and be standing in our power and not be worried so much about food, it's amazing how food just kind of becomes food again. And we just don't think about it. And it's not going to save us, and it's also not going to kill us. It's just going to fuel our day. And then we move on and do great things with our lives instead of sitting at our house reading diet books. And that was a huge part of my story. And it was, I think I shared this in the Sun, but I'm sure I did, and I'll just really condense it. But it was long after I'd done a lot of the emotional work and had really felt like I was healing, that there was this one day that changed everything for me. And I realized how much my mindset and how much my belief systems were affecting my life. And it was this beautiful day. My kids are playing, my husband's working out in the garden, and I'm sitting on the deck reading a diet book, totally not present, not enjoying the beautiful weather, not helping my husband or playing with my kids. I'm trying to figure out what's the one last thing that I need to cut out, or so I must have missed something. Like there's one thing, there's one answer that I was searching for. And I realized that I had this light bulb moment where I realized that the thing that was wrong with me was that I believed that something was wrong with me. And so if I believe that something is wrong with me, then something will always be wrong with me. And I had to close the book and I had to go live my life. And I made a decision that day that I was going to stop acting like a sick person. And within 3 months, my blood work was normal. So, you know, it's just when we decide to change, we decide to live our lives differently, the power that has over our mental and physical well-being, it's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about on the summit, we talk about some of your tips for shifting from being a sick person to some ways to shift your mental, emotional patterns to re-embracing the joy. We talk about joy and play a lot, and also how to just shift from being sick to being well. And that's such an amazing story, I think, because so often we're looking for things outside of ourselves. We're looking for that one less food to eliminate, or that supplement that's going to be the magic supplement that shifts everything. And rarely is that the case. And sometimes that is the case, but rarely is that the case.
Yes, rarely. Well, I think we hear all these stories of, like, you know, you go on Amazon and you look at a diet book and you see all these 5-star reviews and people just gushing about their experience. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, I need this. But, you know, that was 2 weeks in to this person's experience where they were like all high just because they were excited, thinking they had found their magic pill. And then what about 2 months in or 2 years in? Like, does that person still feel the same way? Do they really still hold the same story that this is the thing that changed their life? And it's really comes down to what you believe is going to heal you is the thing that's going to heal you. So if that's going on some crazy restrictive diet, you know what, have fun, but like, that's not for me. So I choose to believe that I'm going to heal me, that my mind and my positive thinking and taking care of myself is the thing that heals me. And so that's what did, you know. And so we have to realize how much power we're putting into all these answers that we're getting outside of us, when in reality it can be so much simpler and so much more fun to just find that answer within and move on. So
yeah, absolutely. And you know what's amazing is that some people ask me about some really restrictive diets where it's juicing and certain enema schedules and stuff like that are very common in cancer care. And what I have seen, which I haven't been able to explain, is that when they're on the diet, that I have seen tumors regress, and they're not necessarily doing this diet with me or through me. They're doing it with some other practitioners, but I'm the one watching their scans and their blood work. And like you were saying, you know, 1 year in, their tumors can be gone, but how long can they sustain that? And then what I see is a gradual backslide into whatever their dietary patterns were before. And then boom, like cancer is all over, and they have stage 4 disease, and it's expanded to places where it hasn't been before. And just listening to you talk about your experience and the 2 weeks into a diet protocol, it just is making me pause right now and think like, well, I used to think up until 3 minutes ago, I used to think that maybe this was happening because the cancers were being frozen in their stem cell state, and somehow these diets were keeping them frozen in their stem cell state so they couldn't replicate and divide and live someplace new. That might still hold true, but now I'm like creating another hypothesis of like, well, maybe there's something that shifted in their mindset that allowed the backslide in the nutrients, that allowed the backslide in the change in their choices. But not only that, maybe there was a little subconscious piece of them when they weren't making those same choices that were not affirming that I am cancer free. I'm going to beat my cancer. I no longer have cancer cells. Like maybe a different subconscious message came in, whether or not it had to do with the juice. You know, there just could have been a different intention throughout the day. So I'm going to have to think about that. And this is why I'm so excited about the summit, because I get to hang out with really fascinating, smart people like you. And it really makes me pause and think about not only how am I addressing my own health, but how does this impact the way that I view the health of my patients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it is a hypothesis, but I got to this point in my own healing, and I see it over and over with my clients, that if a person comes to me and they're like, this is just another dumb thing I'm doing and it's not going to do anything, it's not going to do anything. But if they come to me and they're like, let's do this, like, I'm done, this is healing me, then guess what happens? It heals them. And so that's what I just decided. I was like, all right, I'm going to not do this anymore. I'm just going to be happy and healthy and like close the diet book and put it away and eat whatever the heck I want. And so that's what healed me. And so it's this placebo effect is legit. And so if we're at a doctor's office and they're telling us, well, you have to do all this juicing and you have to do this and this, well, there is this hope and this placebo effect that happens immediately. And they're saying, okay, and so this whole biochemical change thing, all right, we're healing, we're doing this. So then they go on the protocol, they feel great. Well, maybe they slip in, they eat a cookie, or then they go to the restaurant and they eat pizza. And then the nocebo effect is like, oh, well, I'm going to get sick. If we believe that food is going to make us sick, or if we believe that food is going to make us healthy, that's what it's going to do. It's not the food, it's the belief about the food. And so you could sit down and eat a salad every day and still get cancer, because you're like, if you're doing it because you don't want to have cancer, because you're scared, or because you think like you have to do this to be healthy and you're miserable, you could still get cancer. It's just, but if you sit down and you're like, pizza's my favorite thing ever. I'm not saying everybody go eat pizza, but I'm just, I'm just trying to make a point here. Is like, if we are in a state of joy, I have clients come to me all the time, and I notice this myself. It's called the vacation effect, is kind of what I've coined it. Like, that you can be at home and eating your salads and juicing and like doing all this and feel pretty crummy. And then you go on vacation and you're like eating the pizza and you're eating because you let yourself kind of go and you drop all your worries, and all of a sudden, like, you don't feel sick. You might even feel better than when you were at home. And it's not the food, it's the vacation mindset. It's, I'm going to let go of all my stress. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to not worry about anything. And then bam, the person feels better and has some sort of miraculous recovery in the week that they're on vacation. Mm-hmm. And then they come home and they go back to their salads and their things, their juicing and their keto or whatever they're doing, and back to all the worry and the stress and the fear, and they don't feel good again. And it's not the food, it's the mindset, it's the beliefs. So yeah, what you believe is going to heal you is the thing that's going to do it, no matter what you put that on.
So what I'm hearing is I can eat as many cupcakes as I want.
Not quite. There is a balance here. So I always have to, remind these people, like, that doesn't mean that it's good to go out and eat McDonald's after I say this. I don't eat McDonald's. I still eat healthy. But I don't stress about my food. I eat things that I'm craving, which again, now, I mean, I crave things like potatoes, and, it's not like I'm craving McDonald's. Because when you're really listening to your body and you're honoring what your body wants, a lot of times that is not junk food. But I'm going to go to a restaurant with my family and I'm going to get whatever I want every once in a while. I'm going to go to a birthday party and have a piece of cake and not care. And so it's that balance. It's really getting back to that place of like, I'm not eating ice cream all day long, because I really would feel like crap if I did that. But it's being intuitive and going within and just dropping the emotional charge around food. So that, one morning I wake up and I want eggs and I want vegetables. And then the next morning I wake up and I want oatmeal and with berries, and they're both okay. And neither is killing me, like that. It's okay. And I can go to a restaurant and just enjoy myself and not have to just order the salad because I'm sick. I can just enjoy it and move on, and there's no charge, and it's totally neutral. And it's still a process. I mean, I'm still working on this in my own way too, but coming from that diet mentality, there's work that has to be done to get to that place of balance.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I love watching your Instagram feed because you always take beautiful pictures of beautiful plates of food. I'm always like, oh, can you come over and fix that for me? And usually it's pretty simple stuff too. It's not anything that takes any special cookware or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward, real food.
Yeah. And that's when you finally get to a place of just tuning in and listening to, again, that innate wisdom. It's going to answer everything for you, from what you should eat to what you should be doing with your career. And, you know, sometimes all I want is rice and beans. And then other times I do want some meat, or I do want, you know, like, it's different. And so it's dropping the labels and dropping all the dogma, and, and just being intuitive, and, and putting the emotional charge, neutralizing that, and putting it towards something that's more fun than food. Like, food should not be your savior. And food can just be food, and you can find all those other answers and all that healing within yourself, and not from an outside source.
Absolutely. So we are getting ready to wrap up here. And do you have any questions in your people's feed in your page?
Oh,
I've been watching my page. Mostly we're just getting lots of love and a couple comments. Melissa says that Edgar Casey did an experiment on exactly that mindset piece of telling somebody over and over again that they're sick, they're sick, they're sick. And then they became chronically ill. So thanks for sharing that story, Melissa. That's awesome. Right in alignment with what we're talking about.
Yep. I don't have any on mine, so.
All right. Well, we'll keep watching the feeds here. Even when we sign off, we'll keep watching and seeing how we can support you, what kind of questions come up. Any last things to say before?
I think that's good. I'm really excited, you know, for the summit, and I've got a lot more of my story and some more really specific tools and tips that I teach my clients in that interview. And so I'm really looking forward to everybody tuning in.
Yeah, one of my favorite things has to do with clouds, and that's all I'm going to say. You're going to have to tune in to figure out why I love the way that Megan sees clouds and how that can totally shift your health and wellness. And if you're not signed up yet, just go to soulofhealing.com, or Megan, you probably put your link in your group's feed. So we will see you there.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, everyone. Let's see. Stop. Okay.
Mine still says we're live.
Oh, it says live.
I think we're